Slavery existed in all the colonies, all 13 of the colonies in the late colonial era, New England, the middle colonies, the South. But it was a rather different institution in those societies. In the South, where the plantation was the basis of society, of the economy, and slaves were 50% or more of the population from Virginia southward, the law gave slaves very, very few rights, very, very few rights. The law was meant to control, restrict, police the slave population. Very little recognition of any legal rights for the slaves. In New England, where slavery was a minor part of the economy, the law gave slaves more rights. They were still slaves, but for example, their marriages were recognized in law. I think a slave who was accused of a crime in New England was actually entitled to a trial by jury, which he certainly didn't have in Virginia or South Carolina. In New York, there was a tradition, although not probably in the law, that slaves sort of had a say who they were sold to. In other words, if you try to sell a slave, there was a tradition the slave could sort of veto that if he didn't want to. So in those colonies where slavery was a more peripheral part of the economy, a greater tradition of certain rights for slaves did get into the law. But of course, the fact is they were all slaves, and when you're a slave, most basic legal rights are denied to you.